Hi everybody, today I wanted to share with you some of my tips on how to take damaged hair and turn it into healthy hair. Back a couple years ago, I damaged my hair pretty badly. I was using a flat iron. It malfunctioned and it just got too hot and my hair basically burnt. And on top of that, I just kept using really hot hair curling tools, and long story short, my hair was a mess. I had split ends, it was frizzy, it was dry, it was breaking, it was horrible. I've always had healthy hair, and having this happen to me was just a disaster. I know in the scheme of things, having a few split ends is not the worst thing in the world, but being a girl and really appreciating hair and just loving to style it, for me it was a big deal. I'm sure if you're watching this video you must have clicked on it, so it must have resonated with you and it's probably a big deal to you as well. And so if you are going through some of the things that I was going through, I wanted to make this video and just help you find a couple different things that you can do to improve your hair, specifically some of the things that worked for me. Before I go into the tips, I wanted to quickly go through some of the symptoms of damaged hair. So the first thing to look for is probably split ends. If you have split ends, that's not the end of the world, but that means you have some damage in your hair. Another thing to look for is frizz. If you typically don't have any frizz in your hair at all, and all of a sudden you start to see a lot of frizz happening, and if it's not raining outside or anything like that, chances are you might be having some damage in your hair as well. Another thing to look for is breakage in your hair, or like just hair that feels really dry and rough. Also, if your hair is typically really shiny and all of a sudden it just becomes dull, those are all symptoms or signs of some damage in your hair. And the sooner you realize that there's damage going on and the sooner you start to take action to reduce it and get rid of it, the better off you'll be. And trust me, I'm speaking from experience here. Alright, so what are some of the things that could be causing hair damage? First category is heat. If you are in the sun a lot, that could damage your hair a little bit, but mainly it's using hair straighteners, hair curlers, blow dryers, etc. Another category is chemicals. That could be hair color, that could be perms, or that could be hair styling product. And last but not least is physical damage. So if you're brushing your hair and you pull on it and you break it, that's physical damage. And now let's talk about some of the things that you can do to dramatically improve your hair and some of the things that specifically worked for me. Tips, tricks, and products that I love and that really helped me a lot. The first tip is, if you are dyeing your hair, use a hair dye that is more gentle for your hair. Ammonia is probably one of the more popular bad chemicals that you want to avoid, but there are other ones out there as well. And if you go to a hair salon, just talk to your hairstylist and ask them if they could use hair dye that doesn't have some of the bad chemicals or one that causes less damage. Next, let's talk about perms. I've never had a perm done to my hair personally, but I did have a consultation with a hairstylist because I was thinking about it. And when I talked to her about hair damage, because I was really concerned about getting my hair healthy and then all of a sudden going and getting a perm and just turning it into a mess all over again. So I talked to her about it and she suggested to use an ISO damage-free perm solution. So do talk to your hairstylist about that, because perms are typically damaging, but there are options that aren't, so you obviously want to choose that one if you do perm your hair. So now let's talk about some of the things you can do to help prevent heat damage from styling tools like curlers or straighteners or blow dryers. The first thing you want to do is you want to lower the heat setting on your curler or straightener. I would lower it to about 240 or 280 degrees Fahrenheit. That works for even my hair, which does not like to be curled or straightened or done anything to it. It just wants to be itself. It wants to be all natural. And so it takes a lot of effort for me to curl it, but even with my unruly hair type, I can still curl it with 240 or 280 degrees. Now, if you feel like you can't curl your hair with such low heat setting, what you want to do is you either want to use one of these things or some hair clips or some bobby pins, whatever you have, and just pin your curled piece of hair in that very curled position to your head or to, the top of your hair, and just let it cool down. And then when you take it out, you will have a really tight curl in the beginning of the day, and that way your curl, when it gets undone throughout the day, you're still gonna have some curl left in your hair by the end of the day. Another thing you might want to think about is styling your hair less often. What you want to do is you just want to make sure that your curls or whatever your hairstyle is in the beginning of one day lasts not only throughout that one day, but also until the next day and throughout that next day. And so what you want to do is you just basically want to make sure that your hair doesn't get undone throughout the night. To do that, you either put it in a big bun at the top of your hair if your hair is curled, or if your hair is curled or straightened, what you want to do is you want to flip it over the pillow. That way you don't sleep on it. So it doesn't get, one, flat, and two, it doesn't get undone. That's something I do all the time, and when I wake up the next morning, I typically have some volume in my hair and my curls for the most part are still there. Something you never want to skip is using a heat protectant spray like Tresemme Thermal Creations, which is the one that I use. I always just spray a little bit in my hair just before I'm about to curl it or straighten it. I highly recommend you use something, doesn't have to be this exact thing, but just something that you can spray in your hair that says heat protectant in it, and hopefully that gives a little bit of barrier between your hair and the heat styling tool. If you notice a lot of breakage in your hair, this could be caused by either rubber hair ties. So if you are using them right now, I suggest you stop using them and replace them with rubber-free and metal-free hair ties. But it could also be caused by your hairbrush. So if you are using the wrong kind of hairbrush, you could be pulling on your hair, and if your hair is already compromised, it's more likely to break. So what you want to do is you want to use a good hairbrush. I suggest using either a Tangle Teezer or a wet brush. I do apologize, this Tangle Teezer is a little bit dirty, but don't mind that. If you are straight out of the shower, use a wide tooth comb like this one here. That way, if your hair is a little bit tangled, this is going to be a lot more forgiving than another type of a brush. And another thing you can do is you can use a hair brushing foam, which basically smooths your hair and it allows the brush to glide through it. And if there is a tangle, it doesn't get stuck in the tangle and just basically pull on your hair and break a bunch of the hairs off your hair, off your head, whatever. Okay, so now let's talk about washing your hair. I suggest you wash your hair every other day. This way your natural oils in your hair have the chance to do their job, which is to moisturize your hair. Now, if you feel like your hair gets a little bit greasy or disgusting or dirty or whatever the next day, because I notice that sometimes my hair does get a little bit oily the next day, I use dry shampoo. And my two favorite dry shampoos are, hang on, it's Batiste, a dry shampoo, or I also like Not Your Mother's Clean Freak. These two are inexpensive and they work really well and they last for a while. So when you do wash your hair, I suggest using this shampoo and conditioner combination because I have noticed a huge difference in my hair as soon as I started using this shampoo and conditioner combination. It's about $25 for the two of them, I believe, or somewhere around there, which is not the cheapest shampoo and conditioner combo, but it is really, really, really good. And I do want to say that I was using actually a very good shampoo beforehand, so it wasn't like I was using a really cheap, bad shampoo and then I started using this and then I saw a difference. I was using good shampoo and then I started using this and I noticed a difference, so that says a lot. So using a moisturizing shampoo and conditioner alone is not gonna make a whole lot of difference to your hair, especially if it's so damaged like mine was. You wanna also couple the nice shampoo with a hair mask, which I actually have a hair mask from the same brand as my shampoo and conditioners, which is Art Naturals, and it's also the organic oil hair mask. So it's basically supposed to go with the shampoo and conditioner combination anyway, but you don't have to use this exact shampoo and this exact hair mask. I just suggest using something that you can leave in your hair that is moisturizing for it. Now, another thing you could use is coconut oil, which everybody loves coconut oil nowadays. Everybody talks about it, and I'm gonna be one of those people. This is organic extra virgin coconut oil that I got off Amazon. You can get it off anywhere, Amazon or anywhere else. And what you want to do with this is you want to take a little bit, and I mean a little bit of this, and rub it in your palms and just start working it into the ends of your hair, and then just kind of work it up. And I typically apply this maybe an hour or two before I want to wash my hair. And again, I don't apply too much in the roots of my hair just because it's hard to otherwise get the oil out of your hair. But I apply a lot on the ends and I let it sit for an hour or two, and then I wash my hair. And afterwards I do feel like my hair is a little bit healthier feeling, you know, and shinier and stuff. So last but not least, if you have split ends, you want to go and get hair trims often. I was getting them every couple months, which is often for me because I typically don't go and get my hair cut a lot. Now, getting a trim doesn't mean you have to chop, you know, 5 inches every time you go. It could even be less than an inch. Anything small, just so that the split ends get cut off. What happens is when your ends are split, they tend to get caught between each other and they almost tend to tear each other apart. So you want to avoid that as much as possible and basically cut them off as soon as you see some new split ends happening. So I think this is it for my hair tips. I think I've shared everything with you that I have done to get my hair to be healthy again and everything I am doing currently to keep it healthy. I want to wish you luck with your hair journey and hopefully you get it to be healthy again. And with that, I want to say thank you for watching and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!